Hey everybody, Julie Youngblood here with Youngblood Coaching and Consulting, and we're going to talk about how to present the seller's real property disclosure form, both to your seller and to your buyer. Now, even though my hair looks like it's from the 80s today, this form was updated December 17th, 2015, so rest assured what you're getting is up-to-date information, as always. All right, so just so you know, as an agent, the SRPD, that's what we call it for short, we don't call it a SERPS. People tried to do that a few years ago, and the true gangsters of real estate, we shut them down. It's called an SRPD, or a Seller Real Property Disclosure Form. This is a state-mandated form. You have to have this filled out to get paid. There are a few exemptions, and they're labeled right there on the SRPD. Most of the transactions that you're going to do will require an SRPD. If you think that yours doesn't, talk to your broker. So when I present this to the seller, this is what it looks like. All right, Mr. Seller, what we've got here is the Seller's Real Property Disclosure Form. This is the form where you're going to let the buyer know if you know about anything that's gone wrong with the property or that is currently wrong with the property. Mr. Seller, it's state mandated, and there's a few things that I want you to know about this form. First off, if you have a question on anything, if you have the question, the answer is probably yes, you got to disclose. For example, Julie, we had a leak in the bathroom, but we fixed it. Should we write that down here? What you're always going to hear from me is, you know what, it's always better to disclose. I think the answer is yes. So I encourage people to disclose, disclose, disclose. You can never over-disclose. I've had sellers attach pages. The buyer's going to find out anyways. You might as well be upfront about it. So I let the sellers know, Mr. Seller, this is one of these crazy forms. I don't even like to touch it. As a matter of fact, you're going to take the next few minutes and just go ahead and really read every single line. You're going to mark yes if you know of any defects or problems, no if you don't, and NA if it just doesn't apply. After you're done filling it in, I'm just going to breeze over it and make sure we didn't miss any spots. Now, Mr. Seller, I encourage you, don't get no happy. Some people do that. If you're in a homeowners association, like you are, most of them are at this point, there's going to be some yeses. Yeses are okay. When you mark yes, you're just going to write Y in the box below. All right, pages 3 and 4, those talk about the law. Now here's what I will tell you. If for whatever reason you know of something and you don't disclose it on this form, and the buyer later finds out that you did know about it, they can actually sue you for triple the damages plus attorney's fees, and we all know that that's no fun. So take your time, fill this out completely. Let me know if you have any questions. That's how I present it to my sellers. I never, ever, ever tell my sellers how to fill it out, and I certainly don't ever do it for them. That is one of the fastest ways to go to real estate jail, and that is not a fun place, I've heard. All right, now for my buyers. Now you don't get this blank for your buyers because it comes from the seller already filled out. So as a great buyer's agent, your job is to make sure that everything is filled out, not to decide if it's something that shouldn't be there or is there, or why didn't they talk about, the stain in the ceiling. That's not your job. Your job is to make sure that everything was filled out. If anything is missing, if they missed a box, because it happens, you just let the listing agent know, you know what, the seller missed a spot on page 2. Can you have them check the box and then send it back to me? At that point, you can give the completed form to your buyer and just let your buyer know this is the seller disclosure. We're still going to get a home inspection. However, the seller is required by law to let us know what's going on with the property. So look it over. If there's any red flags, let's talk about it. And then you're going to go ahead and initial at the bottom, sign on the last page, and get that back to me. So state mandated form, don't fill it out. Don't try to interpret it. Our job is to be the conduit in between the buyer and the seller. Does that make sense? And if it doesn't, or if you have questions, give me a call. My number is 702-234-8181.